the most positive things that I've just been so excited about this last year was the opening of La Alianza. And I think that that's really a place, you know, I'm very glad that the county's been involved, and I think that that's a real effort for getting more of the Hispanic population involved. And I think that that's one of the areas in our community that I would like to see grow the most. 25% of schools right now are Latino, and looking around, you know, I've talked to my students about, you know, why aren't there more teachers who, they want to know why there aren't more teachers who are Hispanic, and why more people aren't involved in local government. So some is working with young people, and then also, I think, working through La Alianza to mobilize people going, being approachable. I think one of my strengths would be that I know a lot of people in the Hispanic community. That's been a lot of people I've worked with in the past.
Angenie, I know that you're working in the school district. You're seeing the beginnings of the negative effects of drug abuse in our community. I'm seeing much of the later negative effects in the criminal law practice. I'm wondering what your thoughts are with regard to the commissioner's involvement in that issue and what might be able to be done, whether it's through the Community Drug Coalition, which is just starting up, or in some other way.
You can see at least 3 ways that the county could be involved. I think the Community Drug Coalition is it's been excellent to see the county's involvement. I've been involved in that committee when it was the Community Justice Council, and then stayed involved when I returned from graduate school in the Community Drug Coalition. I think they just did their strategic planning. I think that there's excellent avenues through that. So I certainly think one way is through the Community Drug Coalition. I also think that partly there needs to be a more coordinated services. Just talking to each of the providers, they don't know what the other provides. I've talked to the probation department about just trying to consolidate information and make it easier for people to understand how to get treatment and what people offer. That would be a really simple thing, but I think that would help. And then also with the new public safety facility opening, I think that also would be a good way to get, you know, to make sure that there is some services. We're going to be holding young people for 48 hours. A number of those violations are going to have to do with substance abuse. So I think the county could work on some kind of program to make sure there might be some other services offered.
Thank you. Jimmy. I'm sorry. Janie and then Jimmy. Yes.
I've always been concerned about the foster care in the county and the lack of it. What would your ideas be for improving the foster care service?
You know, I think that throughout this year, I've heard of people who want to become foster care parents who don't know how. So again, I think part of it is getting the information out and demonstrating that need. There's certainly, if there was more foster care families in Blaine County, for better or worse, I think more kids would be placed in foster care, especially temporary care. You often hear that, well, we'll have to take them outside of, you know, the region, and so I think I agree with you that there's certainly a need for more good foster care parents. I also think that there's some Blaine County foster care parents who are doing an excellent job and are real advocates for getting more foster care parents. So I'd want to work with those parents and see if they would be willing to take a kind of a verbal and a real active role in helping people know what it would be like to be a foster care parent, what they've done.
I've heard it's very difficult to become, and I'm thinking there's such a need. Why should they make it difficult to become a foster? And
I think there's ways that we could make it easier. And also having people not just think first off that it's difficult without even knowing kind of what all the steps are, I think would be really important.
Thank you, Nancy. Sally?
I almost, except for the blonde hair, I feel like I'm looking at myself from years ago. I mean, so I'm excited. I've served 8 years in government. I'm excited to see that, you know, more people are being involved, like you're saying. I like this. But really one of my concerns would be, what is regional? I mean, it's not, a lot of the things you're speaking to are case specific, I guess. And so what would your regional, what do you think of regional planning? What do you think is a regional approach to some of these issues that we face? I guess, so what would your role, what do you see your role being as a new person coming on board?
I see my role is working with the other commissioners on the issues that are present. I think a lot of those issues have to do with land use. I was at the county commissioner meeting earlier today, talking a lot about water quality. So I think a lot of the issues that I would be working on would be broader than the issues that we've been talking about just the last few minutes. So I think that my role would be bringing together my expertise of working with people and starting to make some progress on some of the county priorities, kind of jumping from land use. I know one of the #1 county priorities is to see more affordable housing, and I think that people could be brought together to start coming up with some real solutions. I know Blaine County School District has made some efforts to improve housing for employees. I think that's one of the roles that I could be involved in. So I don't know if that entirely answers your question. So
Any further questions? Did you have? Thank you so much.
thank you.
And last